The following is a YouTube-based audio production, brought to you by J.E. Realize. Eurovision is dead. Rest in peace. Well, I guess I could talk about the contest a bit. No 2020 mentions, though, because we're going to retcon that memory, for sanity's sake. When I first watched the contest back in 2015, I didn't have much of an idea which songs I really liked over others. Sure, Sweden's song winning was cool, and maybe that was the right choice, but I didn't get to form solid opinions in the short time frame before the winning song was chosen. Things have changed since then, and while for some years I can't make a decision unaffected by previous results, I have made rankings for 2016, 2018, and 2019, got criticism for some of my choices, and realized the critics don't matter because I know what I like. So I'll unapologetically make this part of the video about 10 Eurovision songs I unironically like. These are songs that aren't generally received well by Eurovision fans, but that I like nonetheless. I've decided to limit this to one song per year from recent memory, choosing any that stand out. And this is not an exhaustive list, nor does it indicate which songs I like the most or which songs Eurovision fans like the least, nor does it mean I like pure pop trash, or as I will refer to as pop treasure. So let's begin this pop treasure fest. Yes, I said treasure. That is what they are. Wait, that was a Bruno Mars song. Anyway, let's start. 2004, Believe Me by Yulia Savicheva. Now, I don't know if people like this song or not. I'll guess that not, on the basis that it's Russia and probably had its score inflated to be in the final. But I don't care. I was never around to watch the 2000s decade Eurovision stuff, so one day I went back in time. I watched the shows, got upset that people like Malta qualified for the final, waited for the results, etc. As for this song, this is clearly bringing back some 2000s decade nostalgia. When I heard it, I was like, didn't I hear this song before? It's been a long time since I heard 2000s decade songs, so this song was a treat for me because it sounds like 2000s decade to the point where it was criminal. So yeah, I like this song off of pure nostalgia. Sue me. 2005, Chacun pense à soi by Ortal. Another example of the 2000s decade nostalgia high is this song. It's from the Big Four, so without a second performance, of course it was going to flounder. But with this song, I felt like I went back in time to when I lived in a trailer, popped the bootleg CD into my mom's new stereo, and sat back as the hits kept turning in. I can't really describe it beyond this. You're on your own. 2006, Il était temps by Virginie Pouchin. Speaking of France, here they are again. There's not much to this song. It's a soft-spoken ballad. And it didn't do well and people don't care about it. Yet you care for Portugal in 2017, don't you? This isn't much, but I just sometimes want a downtime kind of song. 2007, Lamour La Franais by... Damn it, France! Stop entering the list! Yeah, apparently this song wasn't well received either. This was all sorts of manic and nonsensical and had the audacity to speak French and English in the same breath. I guess this ranking is proving that I don't care what language you send into me. It doesn't have to be English or Spanish so long as it's enjoyable. I enjoyed this song. It's memorable too. Sure, it's not rock like so many songs in 2007, but it's okay. And according to AT&T, just okay is not okay. Honorable mentions include Bulgaria, which I didn't put on this list because while it's good, it's not great. Andorra because give the little guy a break. And Austria, aka the singing, dancing HIV/AIDS awareness campaign, which I can only take so much of before I take it off repeat. 2008, Hasta La Vista by Ruslan Aleno. Okay, to be fair, I had trouble finding a song that I liked and a lot of people didn't, so this is a grasping at straws entry. It's obvious to see why this one failed. It tried so hard to build off the success of Work Your Magic, but it was too obvious that it was trying to do that. But otherwise, I like the song just a little bit. 2009, Lose Control by Waldo's People. Not a lot of people like this song, and I can see why. Kind of. Really, it's hard to. Yeah, it's one of those songs that mix singing with rapping, and the rapping is not the best in the world, and the song isn't the most imaginative, but I can say it's a dumpster fire. Wait, no, I mean, it has dumpster fires. Easy mistake. The song was genuinely captivating like a dumpster fire, though, and it's very high energy. We'll watch again. Honorable mentions to Switzerland, Ireland, and Belarus because 2009 was not a good year for rock. Except less for Belarus because a lot of people like that song. 2010, In a Moment Like This by Shanay and Nevergreen. Dang, 2010 was something, wasn't it? I had a few songs to choose from, but I chose this one. Yes, it got fourth, which should DQ this from the list in a heartbeat. but I get the impression from Eurovision fans that this song is really only liked ironically. It's just so cliche, isn't it? But I don't like it ironically. I like it unironically. It just works for me, package and all. I believe wholeheartedly it deserves to be in the top 5. Heck, it's probably in my top 50 Eurovision songs of all time. Well, I can see your faces melted, so let's move on to the honorable mentions. Bosnia and Herzegovina has a solid rock beat I enjoyed. Bulgaria did Popra before Il Volo and did it well, and Albania, oh Albania. I don't care if it looks like you're wearing a diaper under your outfit, you're still awesome. Wait, no one else noticed that? I need to get my eyes checked then. 2011, Lipstick by Jedward. Yes, it placed 8th, but a lot of the Eurovision community hate it. I get why. It's unapologetic pop trash. Note, I'm not even calling it pop treasure. It's really bad. It's not even the Eurovision type of bad where people try to play the thing for laughs. It's just straight up nonsense and serious nonsense too. But I put it on my list because I'm just so mesmerized by it. The beat, the lighting, the acting, the costumes, all of it. Note this is a 25-year-old man saying that. That's like a 60-year-old saying he likes hip-hop music, and those people exist. Yes, this song is meant for those with a 1-digit age, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't for me. 2012, Should Have Known Better by Soluna Sami. No idea if people dislike this song, but I chose it because it didn't do well. I found it a sweet song and not out of place on the radio. Shrug, I guess. Honorable mentions go to Belarus, Switzerland, and Slovakia because 2012 was not a good year for rock. Now, before I continue, I lied. This isn't a list of 10. This is going to be a list of 16. I wanted to make a list of 10 between the songs from 2004 to 2019, but I realized I just had to do every year. I had so many years to choose from. 2013, Contigo Hasta El Final by ESDM. It took a while for a Spanish language song to pop up, didn't it? For those who don't know, I have Mexican parents and I speak Spanish. That's why it's surprising. It's a very cute and charming song with a melodic beat. The one thing I don't like very much is the beginning part with the weird warm-up melody, but the rest is fun, especially as the song goes along. It's a real shame not many people enjoy this. Maybe if we weren't prioritizing French over Spanish, this wouldn't be a problem. Or maybe people have already heard of Oreja de Van Gogh and think this is too similar to their work. Well, what are you going to do? But to wrap it all up with a weird analogy, if you will, if Doctor Who was an anime and had a Spanish language dub, this song deserves to play in the closing credits. 2014, Rise Up by Freaky Fortune and Risky Kid. I don't know why I thought this, but I thought this was the start of Greece's second coming. Not Alcohol is Free, which I can only tolerate so much, but this song. It's modern, but with a Greek twist. It's like a vision of Greek Eurovision prosperity right here. It's catchy, it's danceable, it's radio-friendly, and for extra credit, Risky Kid predicted Dipper's real name correctly. The only real criticism I can give is that I expected more Razom Nas Bahata when I heard what it's called. You know what I mean. It didn't have that subtle political commentary that fans like to chew on. That and the trampolines. That did not do wonders for the voices. Honorable mention to the former Yugoslav Republic of North Macedonia, which I excluded here because although I love it to bits, some other people like it. I want to get fans' blood boiling, don't I? 2015, Omar Que No Se Para by Leonora Andrade. I'll be among the first to say that the Portuguese language rubs me the wrong way. As a Spanish speaker myself, when someone speaks Portuguese, it's almost like a taunt. I know some of the words, but I don't know the full message, and they know it. That and my dad's former landlords are Portuguese, but I will not get into that story just now. As for Portugal in the contest, only rarely do they send in a song I like. Senhora do Mar, for instance, was an awesome song that may just be in my 2008 top 5. But since then, they seem to stop caring, especially since they won with a song that should have never left the 1950s. Their 2015 song was an exception. It was a ballad, sure, but it was cleaned up enough to satisfy my intrigue. As I never watched the semifinals that year, I was hard-pressed to find an entry to fill this spot that people would be at best lukewarm to when making this list. I had Moldova, which was just weird enough to miss this spot, and Poland, which while it so heavily deserves to be on this list, these days when someone sends in a person in a wheelchair, it's usually complemented with subtle political undertones. I don't need to say what about. Poland can more space. Poland can into Belarus. 2016, Last of Our Kind by Rika. This was the first year I started making rankings, and a lot happened that I didn't expect, like Georgia beating Cyprus. Boo! But Switzerland ending up last place in the semifinal was a bit of a surprise to me. I expected it would barely qualify, or at the very least, not be dead last. but people harped on the song being too basic and the singer looking like she needed to go to the bathroom. Way to ruin the fun. Sometimes the song doesn't need all those odds and ends like special props or backup dancers. I boil this down to people not interested in what Switzerland sends in. Honorable mentions for this year go to Spain, Cyprus, and the United States, because Justin Timberlake. 2017, In Too Deep by Tiana Bokacevic. Man, people named Tiana just don't have good luck in the contest, do they? In 2014, a Tiana from the former Yugoslav Republic of North Macedonia went in with a daring song and just missed out on qualifying. In the contest with the lowest participant count of the decade. That can't be good for anyone's psyche. Then we have In Too Deep, which they built hype for properly by releasing a sampler before the song, and I thought it was going to gun it. I think this song was going to be the big ticket item, but then people say it's a clone of Katy Perry's Firework, and then it barely misses qualification. Did the song even intend to be a clone of Katy Perry's Firework? Does any song other than covers and remixes intend to be a clone of anything? Why does the Eurovision community try to dig up a non-existent, deeper meaning when it kills the fun for them and the rest of us? Honorable mention goes to Israel, because that was a dope song and you can't tell me otherwise. The only reason I wrote in favor of Serbia was because Israel at least qualified for the final. 2018, We Got Love by Jessica Mauboy. Before Australia's first performance in 2015, Jessica Mauboy featured in an interval act in a 2014 Eurovision semifinal. And people gave her flack for her singing. But she finally got to prove people wrong when she got to represent her country for realsies in 2018 for points this time. And yet people still give her flack for her singing. Wow, you're never satisfied, are you? I mean, you're willing to forgive Isaiah Firebrace when he decided to make some high notes out of thin air and screw them up and say my instead of me by giving him 9th place. She tries to deliver a heartfelt classic and you give her 20th. Because why? Her dress? I don't know. It's just weird to judge based off of that. She didn't even win the Barbara Dex Award. Wait, she was second? Dang. And yes, she tried to hit high notes too. And I will say, don't add high notes in if the song and your voice are not programmed for them. But she didn't screw up on that level. Honorable mention to the Netherlands because Europeans don't like country. And Belarus because, reasons. Should have kept the national final edit. 2019, Storm by Victor Crumb. When I told European Eurovision fans I loved this song, they looked at me as if I was high. They gave me all sorts of criticism, what with the disappearing guitar, rhyming this and this. No, I mean the word this with the word this, the generic background, etc. I don't see how those are valid criticisms. Basic backgrounds are not bad in and of itself. The guitar disappearing isn't something you should be focusing on and probably boils down to the viewer's inability to suspend disbelief. And while he did rhyme this with this, first off, it's not automatically a crime, especially since a lot of songs don't even rhyme at all, and second, it's not even the same this he's referring to. It's a storm like this, and a man like this. Two distinct thises. Then there's the argument that other songs did what this song was trying to do better, but since I haven't heard those other songs because they don't feature often in America, that's not valid either. In fact, considering a few friends I showed this song to compared to other songs loved it, I can safely say it's in America's top 10 if they could vote. And with that out of the way, this is the first of a daily video release cycle for this month. Since this is the month of my birthday, I've decided to launch a first time on JE Realize event called Birthdapril. 30 videos, one per day for the whole month. Kind of a shame the coronavirus outbreak had to ruin everything, but what are you gonna do? The next video is going to be on my autobiography. I'm serious. Nothing big, just a few details. And of course, subscribe to get the chance to see any content you might find worth watching, like to increase attention, follow me on Twitter, forget I had a Daily Motion that was a disaster, and stay socially distant. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and stop with the 2020 vision meme. That doesn't make any sense. This concludes our YouTube-based audio production. I hope you enjoy, and I wish you farewell.